Last week, we dropped our top 10 games of the year and top 10 toughest schedules, and up next on the hit list is going through some of the top players in the country, and up first is the top 10 quarterbacks. California and Texas are the only states with more than one gunslinger selected, and in total, 5 states are represented. SoCal gets us started at 10, and we got 2 players featured in a tie because I couldn't leave either one off from Southern California, and the only dude from the class of 2022 is Gardena Sarah's Malik Murphy. The 6'5" QB has all the talent in the world to be the best player in the country, and when 24/7 Sports drops its 2022 rankings, don't be surprised when Murphy is the top-rated quarterback. The other QB splitting the number 10 spot is another baller from Southern California, and it's Narbonne's 4-star Jake Garcia. He's already landed over 20 FBS offers, and he's got one of the best arms in the country. The Gauchos have a bunch of talented players led by Garcia and expect them to be in the top 25 to start the 2019 campaign. The lone quarterback featured from Georgia is Prince Avenue Christian's Brock Vandergriff. The 2021 Oklahoma commit is the number 15 rated player overall in 24/7 Sports player composite rankings and is one of 4 quarterbacks from 2021 featured. The 5-star threw for over 3,000 yards and rushed for over 1,000 and accounted for 51 total touchdowns. The first of 4 quarterbacks from Texas checks in at number 8, and up first is Longview's 4-star Haines King. All he did during his junior campaign was lead the Lobos to their first state title in 81 years as Longview finished the year a perfect 16-0 and brought home the 6A Division II trophy. King threw for nearly 4,000 yards and had 42 touchdowns to only 4 INTs, and also added another 700 yards on the ground with 8 more scores. Sticking in the Lone Star State for number 7, and it is Lake Travis's 4-star Hudson Card. The 2020 Texas commit threw for over 3,500 yards and 50 touchdowns while adding another 600 on the ground to go with 9 more scores. Lake Travis has produced a bunch of big-time quarterbacks, and get ready to add Card to that list. That includes names like Baker Mayfield, Garrett Gilbert, Michael Brewer, Charlie Brewer, Todd Reesing, and Matthew Baldwin. The lone representative from Arizona is Chaparral's 4-star Jack Miller. The 2020 Ohio State commit battled through injuries during his junior season, but still threw for 2,500 yards and 27 touchdowns despite playing in only 8 games. St. Joseph's Prep's 4-star Cobb McCord gets us started in the top 5, and the 2021 Ohio State commit helped lead the Philly Power to a 13-0 record during his sophomore season and brought home a 6A state title. McCord set a new school record throwing for over 2,800 yards. He also had 38 touchdowns, and you can expect him and Marvin Harrison Jr. to be one of the most dynamic duos in high school football once again in 2019. The next 2 quarterbacks are both from the Lone Star State, and up first at number 4 is the reigning MaxPreps Sophomore of the Year, Demetrius Davis Jr. The 4-star helped lead North Shore to the number 1 spot during his sophomore season as the Houston Power ran the table going 16-0 and brought home the 6A Division I state championship. Davis ended his sophomore season with nearly 3,500 yards passing to go with 43 touchdowns while adding another 400 on the ground and 6 more touchdowns. The 4th quarterback from Texas featured checks in at 3, and it's Duncanville's 4-star Quinton Jackson. The 2020 Longhorn commit is one of the most dynamic quarterbacks in the country. Last year, he threw for over 1,500 yards and rushed for over 1,500 yards and would have easily been over the 2,000-yard mark in each stat if he played in the second half of the majority of games. Against the Panthers' 3 toughest opponents in the Texas 6A Division I state playoffs, Southlake, Carroll, Allen, and North Shore, he played at his best and rushed for 555 yards and had 9 total touchdowns in those 3 games. The final 2 quarterbacks feature are both from California, and up first is Mater Dei's 5-star Bryce Young. The 2020 USC commit shared the MaxPreps Junior of the Year award with North Shore Zachary Evans after leading the Monarchs to their 2nd straight CIF Open Division State Championship. Young showed he can ball against the best competition in the country during his junior season, throwing for nearly 4,000 yards and 39 touchdowns as he led Mater Dei to notable wins over IMG Academy, St. John Bosco, Bishop Gorman, Corona Centennial, and De La Salle. Checking in at number 1 is 2020 Clemson commit DJ Uiagalelei. The 5-star gunslinger from St. John Bosco was named the California Gatorade Player of the Year after having a monster junior season. He threw for nearly 3,500 yards and 48 touchdowns while leading the Braves to a spot at number 3 in our final top 25 rankings. Expect a huge senior season for Uiagalelei with the talent they have coming back on offense. He's got 2020 Oregon commit Chris Hudson, 4-star Logan Loya, top 2021 prospect Bo Collins, and 2020 UCLA commit Nathaniel Jones to hand the ball off off to, and not to mention a big-time offensive line led by 2020 Stanford commit Drake Metcalf. And go ahead and circle October 25th on your calendar, because that's when the top 2 quarterbacks featured in this top 10 face off when Bosco hosts Mater Dei in a huge Trinity League showdown.